What's up, y'all? It's me, and I do not have a drip stick. I will never have a drip stick unless it's the fucking drip stick 2000, baby. We'll say, I am Double K Double, and I'm here as always with my brother, the one and only Alpha. How we doing this week, brother?
We're doing great, and you know we're coming off the heat of SummerSlam weekend, which held that and Takeover in mismatched order, but still with amazing fucking shows nonetheless, right?
Oh man, I tell you though, it was a great weekend in general. You know, we started off the weekend with Friday night, and what was to me a good go home episode of SmackDown, followed by what has been basically, I'll say for right now, easily a top 3 hottest topic, if not the hottest topic in pro wrestling today. And that was the debut of CM Punk in AEW. And I would say it was one of the best pops I've heard since I've been watching wrestling. I don't know if I'd give it the best, but it was definitely one of the best.
Yeah, it was fucking insane. An insane reaction from the hometown crowd. And like, I do want to point out how smart of an idea that it was having Punk come out like right away. Like first thing in the show, right after they're done, you know, rolling out the match card and explaining everything and running a pre-show, the first thing that happened was Punk came out. And I'm glad that they did that, because honestly, if they hadn't, then that Chicago crowd would have been screaming CM Punk every single second leading up to that.
Yep.
So I'm glad they did that, but it was really fucking cool, you know. All the crying grown men. I got there. I teared up just a little bit, almost. Everybody's got their CM Punk story, right? Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say, I'll say this. I don't have anything against Punk. I'm happy that he's back. I'm happy that he's enjoying pro wrestling again. And he took his sabbatical and he's all good. But this is gonna sound so bitter, and it's not. I was kind of over Punk before Punk left wrestling. Like, I got my feel of CM Punk. And I'll be honest with you, the moment for me was his 400-something day WWE title reign. I kind of got my feel of Punk by the time that was over. Like, I was just kind of over the excitement about Punk. And so I'm not saying it's not a great thing. You know, shit, the man damn near doubled their viewership just by showing up. You know, I'm not saying it's not a good thing that he's there. It's not as exciting of a moment for me. But like I said, I got my feel of Punk during his WWE days, and even watching some of his older ROH stuff before he got to WWE and his ECW stuff. You know, I just had my feel of Punk, but I am happy that he's back. I'm happy that I hope AJ joins him. Like, I hope that they can enjoy wrestling again together. I think it would be amazing.
Yeah, man. I understand that point of view. You know, actually, I do understand that, you know, in retrospect, if you've been a hardcore wrestling fan and you've watched Punk's entire fucking career, all the way from his great string of matches in Ring of Honor, all the way up to his debut in WWE CW, all the way up to his many world championship reigns. Many.
He is a guy that moves the needle. You know, I talked about people like Malachi Black, and they're not really moving the needle. This guy moves it. This guy definitely moves the needle. Can you hear me?
Jesus. Sorry about that. Yeah, my whole shit fucked up right there. Go ahead. I heard you though. I heard you though.
Yeah. Malachi Black, he didn't really move it. CM Punk moves the needle. Does it move the needle past WWE? But he moves the needle just the same. But other than that, like, congratulations to AEW. I hope they do sign Daniel Bryan. I think it'll work out great. Any last words on the Punk signings? We'll wrap this up and we can get to SummerSlam.
No, I'm hyped for it. You know, like I said, you know, we probably don't have Punk for a lot of years, but nonetheless, I am pretty fucking hyped for it, you know?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's part of SummerSlam though, right?
All right. So we're going to start out this segment of SummerSlam real quick. I'm just going to let y'all know. We're just going to run down real quick the total card and how everything panned out. And then me and him will give our thoughts on it. We had Big E finally get his Money in the Bank case back from Baron Corbin, which was a great storyline.
Just pretty fucking funny.
In order to warm the crowd up, and I thought they did a really good job with it, we opened with RKO or RK Pro winning the tag team titles off of AJ Styles and Almost.
Yeah.
And just like my boy Alpha here, months ago, I called on this show that RK Bro was going to be the ones to take the tag team titles from Omos and AJ. And here we stand today. They did it.
You did. You called that. You called that they were going to be the faces to dethrone them. And I said that'd be a good idea. And you fucking called it.
I do like the storyline that they gave us leading up. We'll get to that later. We had Alexa Bliss beat Eva Marie in what was a very interesting match. But the most interesting thing about it had nothing to do with either of the two women that were in the ring. We had Damien Priest win his first title on the main roster by winning the U.S. title off of Sheamus.
Mm-hmm.
We had the Usos become the first champions of the night to retain by beating the Mysterio brothers. And then what we'll get into very soon, Becky Lynch, a returning Becky Lynch, did two things, one that I love and one that I hate, all in the same match. She beat the shit out of Carmella, which I loved, and then she took the SmackDown Women's title from Bianca Belair, which I hated. Drew McIntyre, of course, beat Jinder Mahal. Charlotte Flair, now your 12-time women's champion, took the belt from Nikki ASH and Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
After watching Raw, I don't know if you watch Raw this week, but after watching Raw, I believe those two are about to get pushed for a women's tag team title run.
One more odd couple tag team, right?
Yep. Edge comes out and gives us damn near the match of his life. I love the intro with the Brood intro.
Match. Yes.
Leading into the Edge intro. But we'll get to that later.
I'm going to gush about that soon.
And then we had the two main event matches. One was Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg, which ended in a very strange way. And Roman Reigns taking on the one and only John Cena. And then, of course, as we'll talk about on the second half, a little bit on the second half of the show, the big surprise return that I won't talk about right now. But yeah. Now he just needs the cowboy hat. I'll just say that. Now he just needs the cowboy hat, just like we was talking about.
Well, we're gonna break into that.
All right. Just so you know, I did a quick announcement on the show. So I went on a Marvel Unlimited and added to my library almost every Marvel comic book that involves Kang the Conqueror.
Good shit.
I'm gonna get to read.
Good shit. Good shit. All right. Study time.
So let's open with, of course, what was the first match of the night, which was RK Bro winning the tag team titles.
Styles and fucking Omos.
Yeah, it was great to see it happen. Of course, if you know anything about the wrestling, everybody knew that AJ was going to take the pinfall, and he did. Yeah. But they made it look good, and they protected Omos by keeping him looking strong. And yeah, I thought it was a great match.
It was a pretty well put together match. There weren't any specific spots that I loved more than anything, but honestly, RK Bro and fucking wrestle a fucking Sharon, I'd still find it entertaining. So
well, for me, the one thing I love about RK Bro is Matt Riddle's you could feel his excitement for working with Randy Orton. Like he's truly excited to be working with Randy Orton.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking funny. You can see it just in the way that they act. It's really fucking great.
Let me see. Damien Priest, bro. It's about damn time.
Yeah. This match.
Like I said about Marvel last week with the What If, and we're gonna get to more of those next week. They've been good. It was like, man, really? Like you're taking y'all this long? This man's been hot since before WrestleMania, and it's taking y'all this long to put a title on him, but at least he got it.
Yeah, man. No, I think. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Out of everyone that's really came up from NXT, I think Priest has adjusted really, really fucking well to the WWE style. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like out of everyone who's popped up, he's adjusted to the style really fucking well. Mostly on part of help by one Bad Bunny. but but honestly though, no, he's came into his own really well in the main roster, and Sheamus has also had probably like the best 12 months of his career in terms of in-ring value on his own. You know, I'm a huge fucking fan of Sheamus and his career, but I can say confidently this is probably, in terms of physicality, like the best 13, 12 months of his career. And so they both clashed really well here with a nice little gag of Sheamus's busted orbital and then pulling the mask off with a clean kick to secure it, which is pretty fucking cool, right?
Yeah, that was pretty damn cool. Like, yeah. And we had the Usos retain. Something that I felt was going to happen because, like I said, we all know right now that the
Samoan capital on the belts isn't going anywhere.
Yeah, isn't going anywhere anytime soon. But I will talk to you a little bit when we get to that Roman Reigns match about when I knew Reigns was going over Cena, and it was long before the match took place. Yeah, like the Usos match. So let's close with what has been deemed the Summerslam Screw Job. Okay, so don't get me wrong.
Let's talk about this.
Like, I ain't mad that Bianca lost. I'm not. Okay. I don't think a lot of people are. I don't think a lot of people that are angry about this match are any way, in any shape or form, angry about the fact that Bianca Belair lost. Mm-hmm. It's the way she lost. But like I said, and it was how they kind of set everybody up. But only thing I can think of is that they're waiting to give us that full match for like WrestleMania or like, you know what I'm saying, someplace like that, someplace a little bit bigger than SummerSlam. Yeah. Like she when Becky Lynch came out, bro, I had goosebumps. I ain't gonna lie. Like I was like, the man. I was like, please let me tell me that she's taking Carmella's place. And then she beat the shit out of Carmella, and I was like, yes. And then she said she asked for the match, and the whole crowd,
and the bell ring goes off.
And then the bell rings. I turn around. I turn back. She hits her with the clothesline and pins her. And I'm like, why?
Why?
Like and what was funny was,
what
was most hilarious is that was the look on Bianca Belair's face. Like, huh?
Why?
No, what? Why? Like, it just kind of left me stunned. What were your thoughts on that whole, what some call fiasco of a match?
Stunned is a word for it. Yeah, that's a fucking word for it. Stunned. You know, they spent all this time building Bianca Belair up as the next big baby face in the women's division. They've done it amazingly. And if their goal here was to position Becky Lynch to be hated and to be the next big heel, then they fucking succeeded.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
100%.
That doesn't mean it was a good fucking decision.
Yeah. To be honest.
It wasn't even, like I would have rather her at least like rolled her up or like used her hair to roll her up or used the belt. If this was her turning heel, then maybe the ref could have fucking looked away and she fucking hit her with a cheap shot with the belt or literally fucking anything other than ring bell, rock bottom, 1, 2, 3, the end.
Clean win. Yeah. And that was the thing about it, is she went over clean. She went over clean.
That's the problem.
The best tweet response I saw to it was they gave her the Kofi treatment. And you know what? I can't argue.
Literally.
I can't argue because that's exactly what they did to her. Only way this is forgiven is if you pay it off with a rematch at SummerSlam. Or maybe the rematch is next month. You know what I'm saying? It's next month, and because Bianca, it wasn't prepared for her, whatever. You know, but damn, dude, like, I'm happy she won, but damn, why don't do the girl dirty like that?
Not like this.
Not like that. And to be honest with you, I'll be honest with you. I really would have rather have seen Becky come back to Raw. I know why they put her on SmackDown, because SmackDown is really lacking another top female besides Belair and Sasha Banks. Uh-oh. Did I lose your brother? Looks like, man. But anyway, I'll keep it going. So like
I'm loading back in right now. Go ahead though.
Okay. But yeah, so like Becky Lynch and I wanted to see her come back to Raw. And I thought the perfect time to bring her back would have been right after Charlotte won the belt back from Nikki. And then Charlotte standing there, I kept expecting to hear, oh, but she had already won the SmackDown title and it didn't happen.
Yeah. The best case scenario is we would have gotten Becky 2 belts again, but not like this though, right?
Yeah, not like this. No. That has to happen at like WrestleMania. Like that's why that match was perfect. You know, like that has to happen at WrestleMania. You can't really be looking to do that just on a random SummerSlam or something like that. Even though they did say midway, let's talk about this a little bit midway through to close out the segment, that SummerSlam was the most watched and highest grossing WWE pay-per-view, like they said, of all time. They had over 4 million views for this SummerSlam.
Holy shit.
So
fucking hell.
And this is where people don't understand when I say Roman Reigns is the hottest thing in wrestling right now. The ratings for SmackDown prove it.
Reigns is money.
It's not that people, and you can back me up on this. People don't seem to understand the fact that being over isn't just about the crowd cheering for you.
Yeah.
Being over is about getting that heat, that Kevin Owens and Elias in Seattle heat. Like you know what I'm saying? Like that's what it's about. And Roman gets that kind of heat. And so
drawer.
Exactly. So yes, of course, 4 million. You put Roman Reigns in the main event, 4 million people are going to tune in to see if that motherfucker loses. It's kind of like, okay, I got an even better comparison for you using sports. It's like Floyd Money Mayweather. The reason why every one of his fights makes 150, 200, 300, 400 million dollars and does millions of pay-per-view buys is because everybody is waiting for the day that dude loses.
Yep.
Everybody is waiting.
I call it the Ric Flair effect. It's you draw people in and you are the draw just so people want to see your ass get beat and you slither away every fucking time. Just so you can draw them back in next time with the incentive that this might be the time you finally get that fucking ass beaten.
Yep.
It's the Ric Flair effect.
It's like, man. Like, and so people don't really get it that yes, Roman Reigns is the hottest thing in pro wrestling right now. He just is. I'm sorry that you don't like Roman Reigns. I'm sorry if you hate Roman Reigns or you think he's a chode or whatever. But whatever you think about Roman Reigns, the bottom line is Roman Reigns is money. Mela ain't money. And I'm tired of hearing Mela say she money, but Roman Reigns is money. And I will admit that part of the reason why the ratings jumped so high was John Cena. That doesn't
without a doubt.
But I also think a lot of the reason why the ratings rose is because people thought for sure John Cena was going to be the one to take the belt from Roman Reigns. But we'll get to that match after the break.
We'll get to that one.
Yeah. But so far up to this point, SummerSlam was rocking. I felt like at this point in the night, the crowd was hot and just, it gave it all. It blew it off the roof with the last 3 or 4 matches.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
We'll get to those matches after the break. Right now, me and my boy Alpha is going to take a break and we will holler back at y'all after that and talk more SummerSlam. No, we're going to talk we're going to talk like 2 more matches from SummerSlam and then we're going to talk some history that happened
takeover
at NXT Takeover 36. So history.
We'll be back.
And we actually called it here on this thing too.
Yep.
Peace. All right. as we do to start out every second half of the show, I get to point out the fact that, I got the pretty face.
Mhm.
The face half of y'all tune in for. No, well, I'll say I am Double KK Double, and I am here as always with Alpha, and we're talking SummerSlam. So what's up, Alpha?
Wrong one.
Yep, I know. I was about to say
You're right.
WrestleMania.
We're going to be putting the cap here on our review of SummerSlam this year. We're going to be diving into probably the second shittiest match of the night, purely for its ending once again. That being the triple threat between Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley, and our current champion, Nikki, almost a superhero, correct?
Correct. Well, and here's the thing with it. It was a shitty ending, but the match itself, Charlotte Flair, I was gonna say Charlotte Flair put on a show. Like, it wasn't a bad match as far as I was concerned. But I just didn't like the ending. I just didn't like the ending,
Yeah, I second that. She doesn't need the win.
Yeah.
She doesn't need the win. All this did was serve to put down Nikki further and further keep Rhea Ripley in this sort of middling nowhere in the women's division, both challenging for the title but never fucking winning it, or at least for a consistent basis, right?
And I think, once again, like I told you before, I really wish that Becky Lynch would have came, because I think that the Raw women's division needs a little bit more of an oomph
than SmackDown.
Than the SmackDown does. So, like, I would have loved to see Lynch come back, but she didn't. But Charlotte got her W. She did her thing. I would really like to know who her next challenger is going to be, because that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's somebody like maybe Nia Jax. That would be a good twist.
That'd be interesting.
Wouldn't necessarily be something we've never seen before, but it would be something different for right now.
Something different.
But that, like I said, good match, horrible ending. Not much more I can say about it. The next match, though, kind of, I can't say good match. It was a good match considering the standards, considering that it was Goldberg. And the last match that we saw him in, he didn't exactly look that good. He didn't look bad, but he didn't look that good. I had to say that this match was, I don't know. I didn't like the way it ended. Yeah, it was choppy. I think it's getting to the point with Goldberg where even the good wrestlers can't necessarily carry him anymore. Like, he's just like, he's a little too sloppy in the ring.
Yeah, Goldberg's always been a little sloppy like that. Goldberg's, like I said, Goldberg can't work. Goldberg's a character. He can't work. And that's not a dig at him. I respect him and everything he's done for the business, but Goldberg can't work. That's a fact.
Yeah.
And that's not aged too well. And I wish Lashley was somebody who was able to carry Goldberg to an amazing match, but he clearly is not. The match was choppy at best. Goldberg came out and hit a few moves, which was like, other than a fucking spear and jackhammer, it was something. He came out and hit something different, so I did actually notice that. But his whole every movement he made was a bit delayed, and they flubbed up a little the corner sequence like almost instantly. And honestly, though, no, with how it was sold, I would believe Goldberg is legitimately injured. So for what it's worth, they sold it fucking well. And it is kind of funny how like it ended the way it did. It ended with ref calling it off, but more importantly, with Lashley putting the hurt lock on Sunberg, and then fucking MVP losing his shit, like not realizing at all that was, or completely fucking realizing it, and he was just beating a fucking kid. His shock expression was pretty fucking funny, so that was pretty cool. Yeah.
That was the part that kind of turned me off. It was like when Youngberg got into the ring, and I looked up and he had him in the hurt lock. I was just like, and here's why it disappointed me. It obviously means that they're setting up for another match between Lashley and Goldberg down the road.
Yeah,
that was the most disappointing.
One of two.
Right. This is not over yet, because if it was over, they would have never involved his son like that or anything like that. So it sucks. Like, as much as Goldberg is whatever, but like, I just don't, like I said, he's not added.
Nobody wants to see part two of it.
Exactly. And well, if part one it went better, if Lashley was able to carry him better, not Lashley's fault that he couldn't carry him better, by the way. If Lashley could have carried him better, it would have.
No fault to Lashley.
It would have had me hyped for part two, but the way it ended and just how clunky the match looked,
wasn't enough.
Now, let's hurry. Let's get off of that real quick and get on to the main event of the evening, which was Roman Reigns versus John Cena, which was a hell of an actual wrestling match if anybody wanted to fucking pay attention. But here's the deal. I knew on Friday Night SmackDown, the moment Roman Reigns let the words come out of his mouth, if I lose this match, I will leave WWE. In that moment, I knew Reigns was keeping the belt.
Yep.
That solidified it for me. Like I had been thinking it always, but they really had me going there for a minute. Like, damn, like SummerSlam would be the perfect time for Cena to win number 17. And I'm like, well, and then as soon as Roman said that, I was like, nope, Roman's keeping the belt.
Nope. Yep.
Nope.
Roman's not going fucking anywhere.
Yep.
Like this would have been a great time for Cena to break that record, in my opinion. I don't think they should have added that stipulation purely because I'm a huge proprietor of the idea that, like, I think Cena should be the one to break Flair's record. I think that should have been his moment. And I'm not just biased because I fucking love Super Mario Brothers 3, and he came out with a Super Mario Brothers 3 themed shirt that I want so fucking bad.
The dumbass AEW fan said was a copy of CM Punk shirt, but whatever.
Like, boy, shut up. Boy.
Yeah.
Shut up. It's Super Mario Bros. 3. Shut up. but
go ahead.
Yeah, man. The match in physicality was amazing, and it was a perfect retelling of the story that John Cena has told over and fucking over again, where he goes up against a monstrous heel who batters him, and then he comes back with that Cena sequence. That those
shoulder block,
proto bomb. You can't see me. 5 knuckle shuffle. AA 1 2 3 the end. Super Cena power. Woohoo!
No shit.
It was a perfect retelling of that, except every single time that he got into the grooves of that, Roman said, "No, fuck you, Superman punch." And that was pretty cool. And so eventually they got to the outside. And he tried to meet him again with another "no fuck you Superman punch," and he said "no fuck you AA" through the table. It was pretty fucking great. All around, it was a bunch of amazing spots. But before we hit the end, do you want to speak on it?
Yeah, like I was thoroughly impressed with the physicality of the match. I knew they both could put on a good show, but I didn't realize that both of them could do it that well, where they literally made each other look good. Everybody had their moment, and Cena looked, even during the match, even though I knew, like I said at the beginning, that Reigns was going to win, there were still a couple moments where I was like, well, no. Well, baby, no. And so when a match can still do that, when I pretty much think I know the finish of it, or not the finish, but the result of it, it impresses me. It impresses me a lot.
Yeah.
But during this last minute and a half before we move on to NXT, let's talk about the guy that decided to show up after Reigns toppled Cena.
Yep.
We all knew he was coming. We've all been waiting for it. Roman's in his legend gauntlet is what I call it right now.
Yep.
With the return of the one and only Brock Lesnar.
Well, I thought the whole shit was gonna. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was saying the way they set it up was perfect. With him standing over Cena, bragging, he gets the title just up to the top, and all of a sudden you hear the wah. I was like, yeah.
It looked like they were just gonna roll that little thing in the corner. It looked like they were just about to roll that. You know what I mean? Like right there, and it was perfect fucking timing, right?
Sure. And then Lesnar doesn't come out and attack him. Lesnar doesn't come out and do anything bad. Lesnar just comes out and gets in his face.
He does the Lesnar bounce.
Yep.
And he does the Lesnar bounce, though.
Now let's talk about what you talked about a couple of weeks ago real quick about the look of Lesnar. He came out with the full beard and man bun. Like I said, all we need is the cowboy hat. And a pair of jeans and a shirt. Go ahead.
I have an even better one now. See, Cowboy Brock is great. Don't get me wrong, but Brock has definitely put on some more muscle and such, and so he comes out, and remember, my family takes one look at him and says, "Is that fucking Goro?" And so from this point on, Brock Lesnar is now Goro in all senses of the fucking word. So yeah, exactly. So now that he has the hair and the goatee and everything, that is now effectively fucking Goro. And from this point on, that is Goro. That is no longer Cowboy Brock. That is Brock
Goro.
Holding the Mega Evolution, the Brock Lesnarite stone. So he Mega evolves into Brock Goro. It's fucking great.
Awesome. You heard it here. You heard it coined here. Brock Goro.
Brock Goro.
All right, so let's move on to that NXT takeover. We're running on about 9 minutes here. So
lightning round.
Yes. We'll go over the results real quick and then pretty much hit up just about every match. At some point it'll kind of be led by Alpha because I have unfortunately not seen it, but I do know the results. Ridge Holland with Pete Dunne beats Trey Baxter by pinfall. Cameron Grimes defeated LA Knight to finally get a hold of the $1 Million Championship. Raquel Gonzalez defeated Dakota Kai for the NXT Women's Championship, officially dissolving that friendship. Ilja Draganov ended Walter's 800+ day reign as NXT UK champion. I believe he's the only other champion other than Pete Dunne, right?
Yep. No. Tyler Bate held it as well.
Tyler Bate held it. Okay. Beating Walter for the title. Kyle O'Reilly beat Adam Cole in the best 2 out of 3 falls match. Cole leaving WWE after that match. Good luck to him. And then history was made as Samoa Joe became the first ever 3-time NXT champion, defeating Karrion Kross. So that there was all the results. All right, we'll kick off with the Cameron Grimes match and go from there.
Let's roll. All in all, it was a really, really good fucking show, especially in terms of everything that happened between the ropes. Starting with Cameron Grimes and LA Knight. Ted DiBiase comes out with Cameron Grimes this time. And it wasn't, I wouldn't say it was better than their ladder match, but for just a regular singles match for the title, it was a really good fucking match. And there was some cool little spots and some great things that they did. Most importantly, Cameron Grimes was allowed to hit the $1 Million Dream on LA Knight in the middle of the match, which is pretty fucking cool. And then in the middle of it, he throws LA Knight out, and then LA Knight is put into $1 Million Dream by Ted DiBiase, who promptly throws him back in the ring. Then ducks the ref again, hitting fucking LA Knight with the $1 Million title. And then Cameron Grimes gets the big old fat fucking dub with some good comeuppance on the part of LA Knight. It was a pretty fun little fucking match, and it was good to see Cameron Grimes finally go over.
A good cap to that feud.
Yeah, absolutely. Ended exactly where you thought it would, right?
Yep.
And now Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai, sadly, like if you look at all the matches on this card, on the main card, seeing as how Ridge Holland and Pete Dunne was a pre-show match, Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai is the shortest match on the card by about 4 minutes. Yeah. But for me, it felt like it was only about like 5 minutes. I don't know what it was about it. Maybe they were just going through the spots really quick, or I just wasn't paying attention, but it went by really fucking quick for me. And for what it's worth, it was an okay match, but I do wish they got a little bit more time. But the match following it right after shows why they had to cut for time. You know, I do believe that the females had to cut their match for time, sadly, for the next big one that was coming up right after, which definitely fucking delivered. Ilya Dragunov versus Walter for the first time around was an amazing match. If I'm not mistaken, it walked out with match of the year for that year. And rightfully fucking so. They put on like a 40-minute, 50-minute clinic, and it was amazing. And so this was nowhere near as long. This is actually under half of their classic that they put on, but in no way, shape, or form does that mean that they pulled any punches in this. Ilya Dragunov, by the end, his chest and collarbone looked like just raw fucking beef. It just been beaten and battered to an absolute fucking like blue and red mess. It was pretty fucking grisly. The match had a lot of intense, hard-hitting spots that you would expect from Walter and Draganov. But most importantly, it came down to this amazing flurry by the end where it was just like a minute and 40 seconds of Draganov wailing on Walter with everything he had, elbows, hands, kicks, and everything, and then hoisting him up into the standing sleeper and Walter tapping out, which is a huge fucking put over here with Walter tapping out to hand the title off to Draganov, which was sold after amazingly with Draganov standing and crying like a child, which is well earned. It was an amazing fucking match, and I would largely consider it a match of the year candidate already.
For sure.
And then Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole in 3 stages of hell. This match, I walked into it fully expecting at this point, like, look, if Cole goes over, then he's saying. Cole doesn't go over, he's fucking out the door.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't surprised when by the end of this, it all played into everything they've been doing so far, with Kyle being a huge, valiant underdog babyface and Adam Cole being the heel of fucking NXT for the past like 4 years, right? So the first match was singles contest, and O'Reilly won with a roll-up, which they didn't really like play into it too much, but it was still pretty fucking cool. And the next match was a street fight, which I fucking love. And this is where a lot of the match took place at, with a lot of pretty cool fucking spots, as always. And Adam Cole took this dub with a last shot, if I'm not mistaken. And then it came into the steel cage, where eventually and inevitably Kyle O'Reilly walked out with the big fat dub, securing, in my mind, and for a lot of people pretty instantly, that, Adam Cole's on his way out.
Yeah, for sure. And then finally,
we have the main event. This is what I came to see. This is what I tuned in for. Samoan Joseph kicking dicks.
Samoan Joseph.
But man, before anything, I do want to say that there is a massive hit in presentation to Karrion Kross without Scarlett. I didn't really realize it on his first run around, but for his entrance here, it's really made me realize that even without the shitty gimp gear that they put him in on Raw, and you just let Kross come out, on his own into his music without Scarlett, he has a lot of mystique that is lost. Yeah. And I've talked about this before, over and over again. The importance of the manager to a character, especially to someone who doesn't talk a lot, is absolutely fucking crucial. It is integral. And this is that personified. He has no heat now, even less than he did before, and that really fucking sucks. And so this is one of those cases where it was like, well, walking into it, I feel like they had to put the fucking title on Joe. They needed to salvage this reign at this point. And that's in no way saying that, like, the optimal fucking choice isn't Joe winning, because more than anything, I want to say right now, the past few months have built up Samoa Joe to be the fucking hero of NXT. And there is no better way to build a babyface than as valiant and badass as Samoa Joe's current run. And so right now, in my opinion, Samoa Joe is one of the best babyfaces in wrestling right the fuck now, because he is one of the most believable and badass faces I've seen in a minute. And so I'm really happy that he's first ever 3rd-time champion now. And even if it wasn't like an amazing stellar match like his match with Gargano, I do believe Kross put on a good show here with Joe, and I do believe it is worth watching.
I will definitely be going back to watch it. I just didn't end up having the time to do it before we got together today. But yeah, like I was thoroughly impressed with the results. I can't wait to watch the matches. NXT 36 looked like it blew the roof off the house, like most NXT takeovers do. And yeah, I can't wait to watch it.
Highly recommend.
All right, I want to say, so we got, oh wow, we're down to under a minute. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. And I'll say this, bro. In the weeks to come, we got a lot more to discuss. I think by the time we do our next comic book episode, it'll be after All Out.
Yeah.
So we should be reviewing that. Punk's debut against Darby Allin, etc. When it comes to the wrestling world, life is good right now. Why so many people choose to hate on one company or another is beyond me, because guess what? There's enough for everybody. I'm going to kind of give a last thought, then I'll turn it over to you to give the last thoughts. I was talking to somebody earlier today, and I saw this dude, and he said Tony Khan saved pro wrestling. And I said, sir, that's a bit of hyperbole there. Tony Khan did a great thing by giving the true hardcore fans an alternative to WWE. But to say that Tony Khan saved wrestling is to pay disrespect to the likes of ROH, Impact Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling, etc., who have all been viable alternatives to WWE for a long time for us hardcore fans. So I would ask that you not insult them like that while not taking anything away from Mr. TK and what he has done for the wrestling world. He did not save wrestling. He may have saved wrestling for individual people, but he did not save wrestling as a whole. WWE has never, ever been the only option. Alpha, last words for him, brother.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. I feel that. But you know how it goes, my people. We'll be back again later. We'll be back again next week to talk some Marvel. We'll be pumping up, 2 episodes of What If at that point. So we're going to be talking about the 2est new episodes of What If at that point. We're going to come at you with some new projects at that point.
No Way Home trailer.
As always. The No Way Home trailer. Goddamn right. Heed my warnings. Be safe, my people. We'll be back again. Peace.
Peace.